I'm making this video to explain just a little bit why I'm making all the other videos and started a moment with Papa. God asked me to put my life on display so that people could see how He's worked through my life, all the documented miracles we have, and all the stories that we told all along the way that everybody knows that knows us. The goodness of God has overwhelmed us through all the difficulties and all the victories. We've known how good God is. He's given me a call to do this so that it fights the propaganda of everything else that doesn't show God, that makes it hard for people to hear God. It is to hopefully inspire other people that have many stories, other stories than us, but they never shared them. It's our testimonies. That's what we need to be doing, is giving our testimonies for people to see. As we lift Him up, all men will be drawn to Him. He's called me to raise up leaders that make leaders. He's asked me to find the individuals, and He's pointed them out, the ones that have been through life, gone through the battles. They seek Him more than they seek other things, and they want to lead others. I'm seeing these people. It's my goal to find the ways to fund the kingdom so these people can be put into positions to develop leaders. It's time for the church not to be segregated the way it is. The kingdom is now. That's the reality. The kingdom is now. We walk in a fake kingdom as Christians here. We slowly fell into their trap. By being removed from society as much as I've been through all the illnesses and hardships that I've went through, God used those times as I sought Him to show me things, the things that were hard to share with anybody, and still hard to share. But He asked me now to unify believers. Unify them. You know, if you have a call of God on your life, you know that the gifts that He's given you, it's time for the kingdom to be seen. Let's get together and figure out how to do this. It's just a little brief. You know, prophets, evangelists, teachers, and all those have to make more themselves. You got to have the ones that know how to go and lay hands on, teach those who don't. Get it out of their head. It's a religious experience. Get all that spookiness that's in church to be normal, living supernatural lives. There's a transition taking place, and it's been going on for a while. I went in questioning for myself. I'm looking at if it's not now. When are you gonna do everything as you believe it to be, what you know it to be, not the shade, fully invested, where you seek God more than you seek anything else? Put yourself in this lifestyle, that's what happens. And it's scary and it's joyful. But when you live in the moment and you're in His presence, you know, all you gotta be is in His presence. Everything's there. Okay, so you're in that holy of holy cup moment. He says it's not to be this. This is supposed to go where you go. And then you start learning that. And your journeys that you go through, failures and stuff. So I'm in the process of writing a book. I'm trying to do videos to get myself good at telling the stories, real stories with documentation and stuff that we have. It's it, so have grace with me as I do this because I don't have the background. In fact, what I could really use is a ghostwriter, a production type person. Listen to my stories and see if they're not worthy for people to watch, listen to. If you want the good news given, my life is the good news. My life is the good news. You can see it on display. Like my life to be used to fund the kingdom. If you know, we have grand dreams still right now. If you know my history, my life, what I physically have gone through. So many people have thought I've been dead so many times. I'm still here. While I'm here now, in this moment, I'm to be used. Stretching myself as far as I could. I'm embracing this because God made me a personal promise that I would not die until I lived fully in the moment, fully in His presence, experiencing that everything does exist in this moment. Matter and non-matter exist. Living particles waiting for the spoken word to form it, to make it what it needs to be. Being connected with God in such a way that you're like Peter and Paul as those shadows walk. People go with you because you got find close to them and you understood how to live. I'm getting off subject here. It's with one idea, and we didn't even get to the idea. Is why me? Why me? Would you believe me? Why would you follow me? Well, if you learned my story, maybe you would. And maybe you might totally reject me. Should have achieved according to the world. And I did everything against me. I made bad choices. I did stupid things. But I trusted God. And when I got myself in predicaments, I trusted Him. I learned from Him. But when I listened to Him before the predicaments, yeah, different stories and stuff. Not by choice. I got myself, well, I ended up here just in Lexington. Not by choice and stuff. I ended up starting a business. It, most people would know here in Lexington. It was Recreations of Lexington. We sold wooden playground sets. Uh, was originally where Schlotsky's lot is now, and I operated there for a couple of years. And we did well there. That happened because I got in a predicament, didn't have a job, had a relationship with a uh, place that manufacturer that I represented. And God inspired me and told me to do it. He said, approach him and see if you can be buy at a wholesale price and sell it down here, basically. And he said yes. And my family risked everything, started it, and got faithfully. So we were the sales, we were the setter-uppers, we did everything. And through there, I employed several people from our church, and they got to watch and see how God did that. We didn't have business backgrounds. It was a success for us. When I owned that business, um, I was in a show, a kids show, and we would let kids play on the playgrounds and stuff so that parents would see it and then have the opportunity to make a sale of their homes. While I was there, I was approached by somebody. His name was Doug Burns, and he had a business idea. And the business idea was a company called Purple. He goes, I can't understand it. My hands are not mechanically inclined and stuff. I can't do the operations part, but he could do the business part. But that appealed to me, and he wanted to get my family from the playground business in this sense. They we raised our kids at the store. We homeschooled them. Um, the business became their life, and as a day, I was trying to find a way to relieve it from them and do something more normal. Probably would have been better to have kept that because staying in that faith thing with as a family would have been better, I think, than me just stretching myself now in another business. So that business, Papa Lock, we took a $500 investment, Doug and I went down for the training down in Louisiana. And came back, and we were the fifth franchise, I think, that they launched. There was 65 door opening techniques at that time. We could open up any car door with the tools that we made and not damage the doors and stuff. And we did that for $25 back then. And we promised we'd be to them within 15 to 20 minutes within our capability. And we were pretty good at that. I think we eventually had to go to 25 or 30 as the city grew. And we also had a service that if a child was unlocked, if a child was locked in the car, we would come out for free. So we started that business, and I had that while I had the playground business. And in the playground business, I made a friend, and he had a florist shop. I let him come on my lot and come help me with my rent and stuff, and then also sold Europe and stuff. We, when I was doing Papa Lock, I was the one man operation. So I was working 24/7 every single day, 365 days a year. I was doing the marketing, doing the companies, doing everything had to be done. So I was doing it. And so I'm pretty much setting up places and marketing business. And then we approached the gentleman that uh, owned the floor shop, and I offered him if he was interested to buy the playground business. We did a good business, had some value, and he said yes. And we ended up selling that business, and then they helped me get through the startup of my partner and I. We did everything really, really good in the sense that we did not take out of the business. We both kept things going on our sides until the business could support us. I got paid when I did unlocks. That's all I got paid. We got that so that we had showing that the employee was paid and what we'd be doing on a regular basis. Excuse me. So what people like gave us favor as I went out and marketed and stuff. We had the program if the child was unlocked in the car. it was locked in the car. We'd come unlock it for free. And we did that so well that the police officers, fire department, everybody recommended it when it happened. So they wouldn't have to break out the window, and we got there within the 15 to 20 minutes. If a child was in danger, they knew they needed to break the window. Don't wait for us. Um, we got blessed in that our business received so much, not public service announcements, but partnership announcements with the number one television stations and in radio and in the Yellow Pages because of that program. In Lexington, we averaged 30 unlocks a month, and we then opened up a Louisville operation, and we averaged over 60 of those a month. So living by faith and all these things, you're saying you're going to do something, and then you got to build it to do it. As the business grew, I would have to take less money and stuff and give that away in order to have an employee, and then I have to believe God's going to provide for that. God always took care of us wherever we've been, wherever and whatever we've been going through, and we didn't see how that could be done, but He did it. Um, so we got blessed with this advertisement, but as far as our commitments when we go in, I got a deal with the Yellow Pages, and I made them. I said, we're going to be your number one person, and I'm looking for a long-term relationship. We're going to look for different things that we can do together. And through that, they took all the filler spaces in the Yellow Pages and they turned them into pop-a-lock ads for the unlocking of with the child locked in the car. And they had to put something in those areas. So they took a portion of those filler spaces and put us basically almost on every page of the Yellow Pages. That's God providing. That's supernaturally making connections with people where they hear your passion and stuff and they want to bind with you, and God just works things out for you. The same thing happened with all the television stations. We did our regular commercials and stuff, and then because we had partnerships and stuff and they believed in the program, they made it their television announcements for their station that they believed in this program. And so that was powerful for them, and we backed what they said. They were a sponsor of it. We did that in both Lexington and Louisville. As the business grew, then Doug and I made some money, and we were able to do this. We didn't buy ourselves cars until all of our employees' vehicles. We ended up providing vehicles to all of our employees and paying full-time insurance and stuff. And we did that because, again, the principle of the kingdom is it's not all for you. It's, you get it as you bless others. You get it as you develop others. And we'll get into that in a second. So I've always had favor because as I listen to the Holy Spirit, I do things to to show who God was. I always had a testimony of what God was doing for me. And recently, I got to, you're not doing testimonies. You're not going on sharing. And then when the thing happened with my son just recently, he was dying in front of us. And if we didn't take action, if we didn't speak over him, he would be dead. I know it. The devil goes about seeking who he may devour. My son did something stupid. Didn't plan it to be stupid, but he did something he didn't think it all the way through. And the puncturing his lungs and going into shock right in front of us. We laid hands on him, spoke over, commanded his body to be restored. The devil goes about who he may. We said he may not. because of all the spiritual battles we've been through, life instances where death was there. We know that we can see sometimes you get deceived, sometimes you slip up, sometimes you get slammed. We went through times where we just didn't do anything and we suffered the consequences because we didn't battle. Yeah, people think you're nuts when I'm talking like this. But I'm trying to share being on display before Christ is about with you. And who I am and why you should follow me. So, Papa Lock business in Lexington and Louisville going. Doug and I are starting other businesses. Each step of the way in all the businesses, inside Papa Lock, outside Papa Lock, you had to make a choice. And the choice was this: develop a person, find a person of character, find a person that you see something in that you're pulling out. And you just put all you can into the make them the best person you can. You try to provide for them. You try to give them those aspirations. See if they take it and stuff, and then spend more time with them. Businesses grew because at age 39 I had a heart attack. And when I had the heart attack, it's because how hard I was working all the time and I wasn't developing people. It was through that I wrote a book, and that book kind of just transformed my thinking. I became a person that was prophetically looking for people and trying to develop what was in them and bringing them into my kingdom, his kingdom. I took responsibility of everybody that was in my businesses because it was the kingdom that Guy gave God to reign in. That's why I was blessed in everything. That's overwhelming. So I did that. We had other businesses grow. Things. At some point, I got anxious in life in general. You get success and stuff. You still seek God. You still hear Him. It becomes less frequent stuff. As you're trying to get, oh, yeah. And then as a church as a whole, we were all inward. We were outward. We weren't on display. We were asking people to come and almost come to a peep show, see what we got, versus walk and be lit up for everybody. I was frustrated with church, not my particular church, but church in general. And so I ended up going on a 100-day fast. Started the first of the year going to Easter. The purpose of it was for me seeking Him with all I had. At this point in time, I've sold my Pet Butler my Papa Lock businesses. And I started one called Pet Butler. I'm in people's backyards scooping poop. Been doing it now for 17 years. 17 years. So, I'm doing that, worshiping in people's backyards scooping poop. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm doing books. And it's to bring heaven on earth, to live His kingdom as it was built. And from that time on, He's been showing me all the deception of this life. And showing me like so many things. Bring yourself to really grasp it until you get to my body. That's why I'm doing this video. Guess I will do one of these stories a lot more in this book. Get comfortable in telling the stories. If you're somebody that is like-minded, I mean, you're hearing it's not about you. It's about lifting him up. And you know that today might be still playing anymore. You fast, you pray, you do spiritual battles. The type of person who deserve a person. Here's a book. I tend to place the look for people like that. It's called Destiny. Destiny Community Church. If you don't have a place to go, there's a place to invest in and use your gifts and develop. We're looking for spiritual fathers there. We're looking for the gifts of God to be manifested amongst its people. There's so many ministers. Everyone's a minister. It's you. There. If you belong to a church and you're doing that, that's where my gym comes in. We're going to use it for a place to develop people. Help them spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, nutritionally. Our goal is to develop leaders through our boxing programs, our physical programs, whatever. We're recruiting the best leaders to invest in others. There's a place you can connect with us and help us build the kingdom. Working with this, how I went, I was only going to do a little bit. If this is something that interests you without me going into all the details, contact me or come to Destiny Church on Sundays. The great pastors. It's a little hole in the wall church that's about to explode. I got a vision. I was exploding where it's going. I got visions on how to fund the kingdom and develop the kingdom. I need to surround myself with individuals who are like-minded that can help. I got big visions. It's scary putting them all out there. We got the time is now scenario. If you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? You don't know what life holds you. You don't know when the medium might appear. Sacrifice that you give God is your life on display, showing His goodness to all. It makes you change and adjust what you do in your life, what's part of your life. The things that, the chaff that's fallen off in my life, the things that melted off through the refining. I'm so glad. Even though they're different mindset. It's my little spiel. And again, I'm learning how to do things.